Welcome to News Mongolia, where we bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I'm Batsirin Namshar. On the News Mongolia today, Democratic Party Caucus forms working group to address police violence case. The micro-line robot competition took place in Ulaanbaatar. Australia and Mongolia convened their 5th senior official talks. For the news, stay tuned. The Parliamentary Caucus of the Democratic Party has taken a decisive action in response to a recent cases of police violence against a minor by establishing a dedicated working group. This move underscores the party's commitment to addressing the issue of police violence and ensuring justice for the victim.
Violence against minors is a grave and abhorrent crime that warrants immediate attention and action from law enforcement authorities and society as a whole. The safety and well-being of children must always be our top priority, and any form of assault or violence perpetrated against them is utterly unacceptable. The assault of a minor by 4 policemen in Xilin province is a deeply troubling incident that demands swift and comprehensive action to address not only the perpetrators but also systemic issues within the police force. This egregious act underscores the need for urgent measures to prevent further instances of police violence and ensure accountability and transparency within law enforcement agencies. Members of the Democratic Party have emphasized the critical importance of preventing future cases of police violence, such as the recent assault of minor in Xilin province. They have rightly underscored the need for thorough investigations into such incidents and have proposed additional measures to ensure that individuals hired for public service, including the police force, meet specific requirements and criteria. They noted that it is imperative to assess the qualifications and competencies of individuals recruited for public service roles, particularly within law enforcement agencies. These assessments should go beyond traditional criteria such as physical fitness and technical skills and must evaluate candidates' understanding of human rights principles and their mental and ethical fitness, they noted. By incorporating human rights education and training into the recruitment and ongoing professional development of police officers, authorities can help ensure that law enforcement personnel are equipped with necessary knowledge and skills to uphold the rights and dignity of all individuals, including minors and vulnerable populations. It is crucial for authorities to thoroughly investigate any reports of violence against minors and to ensure that those responsible are held accountable for their actions. Additionally, efforts must be made to provide support and resources to the victims and their families to help them heal and rebuild their lives.
The micro-line robot competition was organized among students of more than 20 schools in 5 districts of Ulaanbaatar. More than 230 children participated in the competition across the 7 to 11 and 12 to 16 age groups. Students competed in various categories, including dice collector robots, football robots, sumo robots, and others.
This first-year competition is designed to encourage children to utilize their free time productively and enhance their technical abilities. Students engage in friendly competition using robots created by their teachers, including dice collectors, football player robots, sumo wrestler robots, and micro-mice robots.
Playing with robots demands considerable intelligence from the children. During the competition, if a robot encounters an error or sustains damage, it can't be fixed immediately. Instead, it's repaired after the competition concludes. Since childhood, I've been deeply passionate about inventing things. When they were seeking participants for the competition, I eagerly joined and ended up winning a bronze medal.
The teachers' representatives emphasized that, beyond assessing students' knowledge and resourcefulness, this competition holds significant importance in discovering and nurturing the creative spirit of innovation among the participants.
Lately, children have become increasingly reliant on the screens and the smartphones. However, engaging in activities where they can create games with their hands offers a different experience, allowing them to physically interact with the game they have designed. The inaugural micro-line robot competition, created by Mongolian engineers, is currently underway. In this event, children are pitting their knowledge against robots designed at their level. Despite concerns about Mongolia's education system lagging in the sciences, fostering robotic technology at the policy level could lead to significant advancements in the four major science subjects.
The competition is proving to be an invaluable learning experience for students as they delve into electronic programming from basic to advanced levels. This exposure prepares them to partake in both domestic and international competitions, refining their skills and paving the way for future generations of skilled engineers.
Australia and Mongolia convened their fifth senior official talks in Ulaanbaatar on April 9th. Chaired by Mr. Ulaanbaatar Nimdorj, State Secretary of Mongolia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Ms. Sarah Story, First Assistant Secretary of Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, the meeting underscored the robust bilateral ties, particularly within the Indo-Pacific region.
Discussions spanned various sectors including trade, education, defense, security, culture, and agriculture with a focus on finalizing a comprehensive partnership agreement. Australia praised Mongolia's progress in stabilizing its investment framework and highlighted the strength of bilateral trade and investment ties, exploring opportunities in a decarbonizing world. Education linkages were lauded, with Australia announcing 50% increase in scholarships this year, aiming for further growth. Defense cooperation was also commended, with Australia pledging support for Mongolia's peacekeeping endeavors through capacity building. Both nations expressed satisfaction with the deepening of bilateral cooperation in multilateral forums, with a specific emphasis on gender equality and climate change. Mongolia expressed interest in agreements on air services, social security, and visa programs, while Australia committed to aligning its development cooperation with Mongolia's objectives. A memorandum of understanding between the Australian Bureau of Statistics and Mongolia's National Statistics Office was signed to bolster capacity development. These talks, initiated in 2014, serve as a vital platform for bilateral engagement and exchanging views on regional and global matters.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida began a much-anticipated visit to Washington on Tuesday that spotlights shared concerns about provocative Chinese military action in the Pacific and at a rare moment of public difference between the two nations over a Japanese company's plan to buy an iconic U.S. company.
Kishida and his wife will stop by the White House Tuesday evening ahead of Wednesday's official visit and formal state dinner as President Joe Biden looks to celebrate a decades-long ally he sees as the cornerstone of his Indo-Pacific policy. Kishida will be the fifth world leader honored by Biden with a state dinner since he took office in 2021. Ahead of the White House visit, Kishida laid a wreath at Arlington National Cemetery on Tuesday and stopped by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and met with Microsoft's Vice Chairman and President Brad Smith. Biden and Kishida on Wednesday will hold talks and take part in a joint news conference before Biden fetes the Japanese leader with the state dinner in the East Room. The Prime Minister has also been invited to address a joint meeting of Congress on Thursday. He will be just the second Japanese leader to address the body. Shinzo Abe gave a speech to Congress in 2015. The visit comes after Biden announced last month that he opposes the planned sale of Pittsburgh-based U.S. Steel to Nippon Steel of Japan, exposing a market rift in the partnership at the very moment the two leaders aim to reinforce it. Biden argued in announcing his opposition that the U.S. needs to maintain strong American steel companies powered by American steel workers. Nippon Steel announced in December that it planned to buy U.S. Steel for $14.1 billion in cash, raising concerns about what the transaction could mean for unionized workers, supply chains, and U.S. national security. Shigeo Yamada, Japan's ambassador to Washington, declined to comment on whether Kishida would raise the Nippon-U.S. Steel deal with Biden. The leaders are expected to discuss plans to upgrade the U.S. military command structure in Japan. There are about 54,000 U.S. troops stationed in Japan.
On Tuesday, thick columns of smoke billowed over the Gaza Strip amid Israel's ongoing military operations in the area. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has intensified his commitment to launch a ground assault on the southern Gaza city of Rafah, specifying a set date for the offensive. Rafah is home to approximately 1.4 million Palestinians, many of whom have been displaced from other parts of Gaza.
The United States, Israel's primary ally, has cautioned against the ground incursion into Rafah, insisting on a viable plan to ensure civilian safety. Israel's military actions have exacerbated a humanitarian crisis in Gaza, displacing more than 80% of the population and placing over 1 million people at risk of famine. International efforts to negotiate a ceasefire between Israel and the militant group Hamas are underway in Cairo this week. Egyptian officials reported on Tuesday that mediators have put forth a new ceasefire proposal to Hamas and Israel. The proposal entails a 6-week cessation of hostilities and the exchange of 40 Hamas-held hostages for at least 700 Palestinians held by Israel. According to Gaza's health ministry, Israel's military offensive has resulted in the deaths of over 33,000 Palestinians and injuries to nearly 76,000 individuals. The ministry's data does not distinguish between civilians and combatants, but indicates that women and children constitute 2/3 of the casualties. This offensive was launched in response to the October 7th attack, during which Hamas-led militants infiltrated southern Israel, resulting in the deaths of approximately 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and the abduction of around 250 individuals.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for Mongolia and the world major cities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you on Thursday with more news and updates. Goodbye.